Everyone, good evening. Hi, Ari. How you doing, buddy? Hi, Ren. Thank you. I love this hour too. This is such a nice way to cap the evening and head off into a little more rest and relaxation. Hopefully, a deep sleep. Sleep is very important, always, but especially we want to keep our immune system strong. So, hydration and sleep. Hi, Roz. Oh, you did the fit just before this class, so you're ready for a detox. Thanks for letting me know. We'll keep that in mind as we head into the practice. Hi, Biz. Hi, John. Welcome to Detox. Quite the interesting day in Los Angeles today. Felt like the sun was going to peek out, but it never really did. The wind was whipping through at times. It was just can't even remember a day where it felt like this, and I was outside pretty much all day. Um, and just interesting. The things that we're noticing, and perhaps that we may not have noticed before. Everybody's slowing down a little bit. Yeah, anybody that was on the practice last night, anybody feel that side lunge? I said when I was on the left side. Okay, it was your right side if we were mirroring each other, but there was something so deep and releasing in the sole of my foot. It was it was probably the most intense that it's been for me in a detox posture in a very long time, which was really cool. You kind of crave it as your body opens up more. Like when I first started, my body was so tight, and you could ask me to move a mere 6 inches, and I would be stuck. Right? That was just the body wrapped into the ball and the tightness of the fascia. And so as your body opens up, you're still feeling it. There are a few people that are so open through their ligaments and connective tissue that they're not feeling it at all. But for the most part, you're still feeling it, but it's not as intense as what you can remember in certain poses to be, which is in part a nice evolution for the body, a nice way for your mind to adapt and to learn from the body and from the positions. And so as you sit in them, but once in a while, when you get a good one like that, It's pretty special. Hi, Chandrea. Hey, Derek. Yeah, of course, Ross. Thank you guys for showing up to the practices. I hope you guys are all set up with your video. If you're going to add audio, you're welcome to stream along with the Spotify playlist, which should be available for tonight, or you can listen to my live stream. All that does, it puts us, the live stream, we're pretty much in the same place. I think it's a little, less important on the detox front because we're sitting in the poses, but during the flows, the music is actually in my ear monitor here. So it's nice to kind of be in that rhythm, and it adds another layer of connection, I feel. So that's why I love the earbuds music app, but it's not, mission critical, or if it stresses you out and you want music, just follow along on Spotify. I know, Ari. I feel you. Just never even, not yet having met you in person, Ari, I feel like the things that you've described about your body and the way you're feeling your body throughout these practices is very similar to what I felt when I was starting, at least in the context of the physical element of it. It sounds very similar based on what you've shared. All right, I'm going to start the playlist here on earbuds. If you're up on Spotify and you want music, go ahead and start your playlist there now. And on earbuds, keep it simple. There should be on the home screen, it should say following with a little red dot. Click on following, and you should see me pop up, and then the playlist that is live right now. It's been a great opportunity to share a little bit more in regards into the yoga life philosophy and to give more context and background. We're doing weekly chats, live chats here on the channel every Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But I've been able to filter and kind of even reflect on my journey a little bit more during this time. And so this morning I put out there on my Instagram at Yoga Life Joe K my some photos from the journey or the adventure that I found myself on, really without even knowing that I was getting myself into a practice or that eventually I would continue to build a practice. And that was it was an art and spirituality retreat led by Alex Gray, a really amazing visionary artist. And it was 12 days in Bali, and it's just a trip. It's about 10 years ago now, and to look back and to reflect, on that experience, and one experience, one moment, one breath is all it takes, and you won't have to fight it. And when you understand it, it'll happen pretty naturally. Doesn't mean it won't come without challenges and disruptions. Okay, and this idea of a decision or a choice sitting in front of you, a little test, if you will. I've had many tests and come up, but when you feel it, you'll know it. And you might deny some of those tests and those challenges. You're reverting back into a previous version, which we were talking about last evening. But it's one breath. It's one trip. It's one moment. Let's go ahead and lie down onto your backs, please. Make your way into Shavasana. And hi, Emily. Shavasana is lying on your back. You're welcome to put anything under your head, like a pillow or an actual pillow, in the comfort of your own home. Of course, use anything that makes you more comfortable here to lie on your back. And let's let the palms settle down onto the low belly. And the weight release down through the back of your head. And when you feel inclined to do so, I invite you to close your eyes. Lay back and relax. And you might, or one might, presume that if I was going on a retreat, I knew that I was going on a retreat, and I knew the label of the retreat was art and spirituality. I knew those things. And so you might presume that, you would think that you're going to wake up, right? Or there'd be something in the process of awakening. Well, I can testify, most honestly, that I had absolutely no idea. So that's how unawake I was. This is not a bad thing. It's where I was, it's who I was. And it's relative to everything that I was doing, and how I was engaging myself, and how I was engaging others. And none of that was bad. But honestly, had no idea. As you may feel that way sometimes, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. And the tricky part is once you begin to wake up a little bit and you have these excited moments in where you find clarity, or you're enlightened. The challenge is not developing the expectation. Because you've practiced 45 days in a row or 70 plus classes in a row, gains you absolutely nothing in the context of a reward. It makes you absolutely no better than anybody else, and it doesn't fix any of your problems as defined by your mind. All it's doing is allowing you and guiding you to access and to listen to the teacher from within. Let's bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall apart in reclining butterfly pose. You can always slide some objects underneath your outer thighs, and that'll support if your inner thighs are really tight. And your inner hip flexors. And put something underneath your outer thighs so that they can relax more. And relax the toes. Soften the belly. And let gravity impress itself on your body. Be in this shape. And then let your mind go wherever it wants to go. And we keep our breath nice and natural. And detox, no control of the breath. And inviting the natural and the nurturing side of the breath. And that which has taken care of you since the very first breath you took coming into this world. This beautiful and this crazy, this magnificent and sometimes turbulent world. I ask you the question as you lie here tonight, and can you feel in the world turning right now? Well, if you're awake and present to the sun and the moon, then the answer is yes. You can feel and you can watch the world turn the entire day. You might fall in love with this in reality that we are very gently and very slowly rotating. Especially if you're one that gets hung up in your mind. If you can be really hard on yourself with judgment. If you feel like you've gotten stuck in certain patterns or behaviors. It's all simply a belief in that you formed in your mind, and that which can be broken as you broaden your horizon, as you open your perspective. And it can be as simple as being more aware of the sun and the moon, and to know that we're always moving, ever changing and always evolving. And feeding just like the plants off these beautiful resources. And feel some of that softness and release to your low back. As you notice your inner thighs begin to bring your knees back up towards each other. And once your feet come flat, if you have yet to put something under your head, unless you're just that wide open, flexible, bendy person, and you can leave in your head on the ground. Otherwise, I would suggest putting something underneath the head to keep the shoulders nice and heavy. Let's bring the knees in towards the chest. But you're going to separate the knees, and so they're about outer shoulder width distance apart. And reach your arms up, and then the arms go through your inner thighs. And from the inside, the fingers are going to gently wrap over the top of the shins. And you can reset your head if you need to. Let your chin settle towards your chest. And so it's not as wide as your butterfly pose. It's a bit more narrow. And your feet are no longer touching the ground. They're actually floating in space. And the point of this is so that we can release the lower third of your torso. And the right and the left side of your spine. So feel your low back and your back ribs soften. And to release, you should feel the entire lower third of your torso touching the mat. And keep the weight in the shoulders, and we sit here. And you'll feel it as you allow the breath and to loosen up with the posture. Once in a while, it may come into the forefront of your awareness that, heck, it would feel good to take a deeper breath or to let out a sigh. You remain calm in the shape, but if that comes through you, please allow yourself to take that breath. And from here, take one more deep breath in. And just let the shins slide out of the hands. Bring your feet down flat to the mat. And you may notice a little pull up and through the lower spine as the arch is re-engaged. And keep your hips heavy. And close your eyes and feel some of that space here. Let your knees fall in towards each other so they touch. If I was practicing with you in person, I would stand in front of your shins, place my hands over the caps of your knees, and add a little bit of weight in so that you could feel the low back and the sacrum, and across your hips, and let go a little bit deeper. And let the knees slowly spread apart. And go ahead and roll yourself onto your right side. And use your left hand. We'll come up and we'll be seated on our bum with the legs stretched out in front of you towards the top of your mat. And set up with your right leg straight. Bring the sole of your left foot into your inner right thigh. But you're going to broaden it a little bit. And so your torso is facing straight forward. But your right leg to your left knee is more like a Y. And then we're going to bring our hands to the mat and straight out in front of us. You might draw in some objects that eventually you can use. If you're going to come down onto your forearms, there can be a nice way to rest your forehead. But to start, get your hands set out in front. You maintain the relative evenness in through your hips and so that you're not leaning off to one side. The energy of your right leg slowly relax. At first, the quad and the upper thigh is going to want to hold on. And the ankle will subconsciously and remain flexed, and so little by little soften the toes. And bring more softness into your belly. And continue to let your head get heavy here. You're out of that adjustment phase now and begin to settle in the stillness. It's so amazing. We've all found this practice, which is an incredible discipline. It shows us, gives us the opportunity to merge everything together, and to literally explore your passion and your purpose, and then anything that it may come up in your life. It's like a funnel. You throw it all into the funnel. It all gets filtered down through your breaths. And some things are going to stay, some things will be disregarded. And that's the whole practice of external influence versus internal wisdom. If you're feeling this in your neck or in your shoulders, a little higher from your low back and your middle spine, that's pretty normal. Great artist, everybody. If you ever want to just turn on the albums and let it shuffle, Lexi Murdoch. It's a nice one to sit on the porch and chill on the couch, put on your headphones and ride the waves. If you're going to go any further down to your forearms down to the mat, and you're welcome to do that now. And the last minute on this side. You maintain your curiosity through the relative stillness of being in the poses, and the freedom of knowing that we're always moving, and endlessly evolving. Start to walk your hands in. You feel the energy flow back through your spine as your head comes up last. Such a cool wave, everyone. And go ahead and slowly switch sides. And so your left leg is going to go out. And the sole of your right foot towards your left inner thigh. And left leg to your right knee, more like a Y. And if you're just having a bunch of trouble in the tightness of your hips, you can always roll up your mat or put a blanket underneath your bum to elevate your hips a little bit, and so that you can actually fall forward without getting all jammed up. Feel some of the space. You start to bring your hands in front and chin to your chest. And you guys ever notice they're never putting somebody on the cover of Yoga Journal in a yin yoga posture? I think they should. You all may have realized at this point, by slowing down the body, by sitting deep in the stillness of the pose, it turns up the volume and to move everything through that filter. All of your emotions, all of your thoughts, all of your words. Like if you were having a conversation before this practice tonight, notice your thoughts having thoughts. Basically, your mind will be retracing what you were talking about. Why did I say that? Wish I would have said this. Thoughts having thoughts. Don't change it if that's happening. Total bonus. Watch it happen. Feel some of that space in your belly if you want to crawl forward. And bring your forearms down onto your props, or all the way down to the ground. You're welcome to do that. And last minute on this side, please. You move slow. You can even go with your eyes closed. And one vertebra at a time, begin to roll back up through your spine. And set any objects, props that you have to the side. And let your right leg come back out in front of you. And scooch forward on your bum a little bit. And then let's go ahead and lie all the way down onto your back, please. And pay attention to the lower third of your torso. And feel the neutral spine. Let the ground beneath you support underneath your shoulder girdle. And catch some space across your chest and muscles in your neck, and remain relaxed. And feel this rebound here. And let's come into a variation of wind relieving pose. So take your left leg and bend it like you're doing butterfly pose. So your left knee falls out. And we're just pretty much taking the left leg out of the equation. And then go ahead and bring your right knee towards your chest. Interlace the fingers onto your right shin, but more towards the center of the shin. And so lower than the knee. And keep your hips square, low back flat. You got to grip with your knuckles through knuckles and your thumbs crossed. And the elbows be by your sides, and let this right thigh come down into the belly, compressing into the ascending colon and your digestive system. And you're welcome to close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath into your chest, please. Sigh, exhale all the air from your body. And then one finger at a time, start to release your grip. And then softly let your right leg come back down onto the mat. You can keep your left leg tucked. And just like we did while we were seated, and sole of your left foot by your right inner thigh. And feel this flow all the way down the right side of your body and from your shoulder, and know that it is tracing its way through in the ascending colon of your digestive system. And slowly switch sides, turn your left knee up. You bend your right leg, let your right knee fall out, and so it's like you're in a butterfly pose on the right side. And pretty much taking the right leg out of it. And keep the hips heavy, bring your left knee towards your left shoulder. And then reach up and to interlace the fingers on the center of the shin. And reset your head, neck, and shoulders. And elbows by your sides. And see that you have the discipline. You all have the tools and to indulge your mind, the inner wisdom of your practice. It may have taken you 5 classes, 20 classes, 50 classes, and 73 classes, and to realize there's no pressure. And when you get it, it's going to happen in a breath. And you'll know it to be true. And you'll feel it when you feel it. And take a deep breath. Exhale out of your mouth. And begin to undo your clasp one finger at a time. As you release the shin, and you can let your left leg go long onto your mat, and just like we were when we were seated, and sole of your right foot, and by your left inner thigh, and then observe all the way down your left side, and descending colon, and your digestive system. So nice, more space in your chest, less stress in your belly. Turn your right knee up and bend both of your legs. And roll onto your right side. And then make your way all the way back around to all fours. And don't worry about what direction you're facing. And as you come onto all fours, crawl both of your knees over towards the right side edge of your mat. And so your knees are touching, and then roll down onto your outer left hip. And so our legs are set up like we're sitting in a sideways chair. And right leg stays stacked on top of the left. Make your way down onto your left elbow. And keep your outer left hip heavy. And then right elbow comes forward in line with your left. And then set it down onto the mat. And put a light interlace to your fingers. And feel the twist here in the rib cage. And let your left ribs fall away from your body. If you're feeling all the achiness, and that is pretty normal, you can keep your head heavy. Start to make your way back up to your right hand. That'll take the twist off a little bit and come back up to your left hand. And push the mat away through your left palm. And then swing your hips back over on top of your knees. It might feel good to flutter your lips here. Feeling down more space into the lower third of your torso. Let's crawl both knees over to the left side edge of your mat. You roll down to your outer right hip. And so we'll switch sides here. And like you're sitting in a sideways chair. And legs at 90 degrees. Left leg stacked on top of your right leg. And start to bring your left hand around in front. Come down onto your right elbow. And keep the hips heavy and then extend your left arm forward. Place the elbow down in line with your right. And gentle interlace of your fingers. And release your belly from your spine. Let your right ribs fall away. And feel the twist in your rib cage. Rotation. And the truth is, you probably won't know it, or you probably won't see it coming. You may not even know what you're doing right now and how this is feeding and nurturing you into the rest of your life. And so consider it like you're baking in an oven of awareness, an expansion, an exploration of your true self. And honor the space where you're far less critical, applying little to no intellect, and trying to figure any of it out. As you're okay with being here, there's something that has drawn you and to be here on your mat tonight. That's enough. take it slowly as you slide the hands out, come up to your left palm. And that'll gently remove some of the twist, if not all of the twist. And then come back up onto your right hand. And press the mat away as you bring your knees back up onto the mat and your hips over your knees. And then just crawl your knees back to the center, and so that you're in a tabletop center of your mat. And go ahead and sway your hips side to side, wag your tail slowly. You can roll your pelvis. You can take this with your eyes closed into a little free flow barrel roll. And shoulders forward and back, and torso turning and twisting, and shoulders down, head moving in the opposite direction of your hips. Anything that feels good here tonight. And then slowly start to draw to your center, and so that you sit back onto your heels. And shins flat to the mat. If you need something underneath your ankles or in between your heels and your bum, you're welcome to place that. Interlace your fingers. Open the palms of your hands towards the sky. Let the back of the hands rest in your lap. And soften the chin towards your chest. You can see in reflection what you may have eclipsed and through your experience in tonight. And the precision of clarity without choice is always going to have and apply a deeper meaning into this moment and probably to many more moments, and that will happen in the future. And what you're doing here tonight, and it's not a question, and it's a direct influence on what we'll do with the rest of our lives. Every moment there's change. Every moment there's growth. Every moment we learn something new. We shed a layer, we gain another. Take a nice deep breath into your body tonight. And as you exhale, you can softly open your eyes. If you'd like a little sip, whatever you have to drink, go ahead and do that. And then please lie down onto your backs in your final resting pose in Shavasana tonight. You need to lie down tonight and invite you to take note and notice next time you find yourself passing a mirror. And if you stand back and you look in the mirror, in an instant, and you have replicated yourself. Full figure, full body. There's two of you. Instantaneously. And so what's the difference between what you can see in the mirror into what you can feel when you're inside of your practice and you're inside of your body and you're molding this practice of awareness and peace? And try it out. You're welcome to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you'd like. And I hope you all feel the light and the leisure and the ability and the privilege that we've had to be on our mats tonight. And to really take this with you into the rest of your evening, into the wake of a new day. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning for our 10 a.m. flow. And have a beautiful night, everybody. Namaste.